Yankees Files podcast. We are back. I'm Will Harris, your Steve Miller of Jet Airliner fame, and the rest of you are fans of a team that was eliminated from the American League Division Series, despite the fact that for most of baseball history, they would not have had to play such a series under such circumstances. Anyway, Steve, there's a lot to get into on this podcast, including what I would say are a lot of myths about what led to the demise of the New York Yankees.
As always.
But before we get into that, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm bummed. I mean, there's no other way to feel after something like that. It was a really depressing series. I think Cody Bellinger said it best, ironically, when they asked him about it. They interviewed him and said, what do you think the team was missing? And he said, I don't think we were missing anything. We just lost a best of 5.
Yeah.
And that is the truest and best, most complete answer to what happened. And you're going to hear, you've already heard talking heads going on and on and on, and A-Rod and Jeter talking on Fox after the postgame. You're going to see dumb takes that you expect. You're going to see intellectualized takes that are stupid in response to this. Any amount of butter knifing or analysis or putting the microscope on 4 games and trying to explain what happened and develop this narrative is going to be flawed and stupid. And we're going to be hearing about it for the next 4 or 5 months. People are going to expect the Yankees to change their team in response to this 4-game series against the Blue Jays. And it's all nonsense. And it's just frustrating. They lost. It happens. It sucked. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that I don't get is the focus on the offense. The Yankees had a 731 OPS in the division series. In the 2019 postseason, the Washington Nationals, who won the World Series, had a 715 OPS. And that was a juice ball year.
Yep.
The Houston Astros, who lost the World Series, had a 705 OPS. Like the idea that the Yankees had some like outlier bad offense, the World Series champion Houston Astros in 2022 had a 691 OPS. The Yankees had a 579 OPS that postseason. If you want to talk about postseasons in which the Yankees bats did not show up, we have examples of those.
Yep.
We do. The Yankees had a 656 OPS in the 2017 postseason. That was bad. They didn't hit particularly well in 2022 either. They hit really well in 2019. They just didn't have enough pitching. This year, they hit fine.
Yep.
They really did. And there's this narrative, perhaps because of all the stuff about how great the Blue Jays are about making contact, which we can get into. There's this narrative that the Yankees were somehow this incredibly flawed offensive team. And the question to every single person who asserts that the Yankees ought to be built more like the Toronto Blue Jays is, why did the Yankees score so many more runs than the Blue Jays in the regular season? If you want to conclude things based on 4 games, you're more than welcome to, but that's how you end up with Jarrett Wright and Carl Pavano and aged Randy Johnson and people like that on your baseball team. I just want people to remember that. The large sample is infinitely more and always more indicative of who you are than the small sample. The small sample is exciting and fun and makes for a good television product. It is terrible at telling you about the differences between 2 teams. If you let every team in Major League Baseball into the playoffs, about as often as not, certainly more often than you'd expect, a bad team, a legitimately bad team, the A's or the Rays or the Orioles or the Royals or the Diamondbacks or the Rangers would win the World Series. Teams of that caliber would win the World Series all the time. And at that point, maybe people would understand that the playoffs aren't telling you anything. But until that time, we have to deal with people who want to watch the playoffs and make sweeping generalizations about the quality of different teams as a result. And 2023 should have ended that. And I'm disappointed that it didn't. But man, the discourse has been exhausting.
Yeah. It's, I mean, and the greatest irony too is what's the Yankees' perceived MO is that they just, try to hit homers all the time. Well, guess who hit more home runs? Guess who won the series? Guess who had better bats, right? So I mean, this whole nonsense about contact and like so the argument that has been thrust upon me in terms of this, why you would maybe want to be more like the Blue Jays than the Yankees, even though the Yankees had a better season long of offensive stats, is because the Yankees have a higher ceiling, but then they'll have these low floors, that they're somehow prone to these massive swings in offensive variance, where as a team like the Blue Jays, who's always making contact or something, doesn't have that. But I mean, we forget, like, the Blue Jays slumped going into the playoffs. They were not hitting well that's the whole reason the Yankees were able to tie them in the standings, because they weren't hitting well. I haven't done a deep dive on the variance of that, but at the end of the day, the Yankees were just a better offense. I don't see any time. I don't really know in what circumstance you can slice and dice a 4-game sample to mean anything, no matter what the situation is. I really don't. Maybe the most you can come out is like, well, maybe like Max Fried and Carlos Rodon didn't match up well against that offense in that situation. Maybe. I don't know. Fried had mixed results against Toronto in the season. No matter what, these are all small samples. It's really, really hard to say. But it's exhausting. And if you dig deeper in one of those conversations, as I dug deeper into it, it really became a conversation of, well, look at all the Yankees playoff years. They don't ever hit well. This big generalization of that, and therefore be more like the Blue Jays. And it's like, well, now we're talking about a whole different thing. That wasn't this year. Those are whole different teams, different players, different situations.
The Yankees did also have, I believe they had the highest playoff OPS in both 2019 and 2020.
Right. So
and maybe even 2024.
This notion that their ideology is flawed for playoff baseball just doesn't make sense. And all it says to me is kind of what I talk about is intellectualized stupidity born from anger. You are angry. You are mad the Yankees lost, and you are a smart person otherwise. So you're putting your brain power into explaining something that doesn't exist because you need there to be something you can measure to explain why the Yankees haven't done well so that it can be corrected. You want something to correct. And the sad reality is that's just not how this is. It just didn't work out. Nobody ever wants to hear that. Nobody ever wants to hear that shit happened, but it did.
It's not a satisfying answer. It's not a satisfying answer at all.
It doesn't satisfy me. It's just the truth.
Yeah. The slump-proof Blue Jays, by the way, in the last 13 games of the season, they had a 75 WRC plus, which was the 5th worst in baseball.
Yep.
They hit 209, 272, 361 with a 235 batting average on balls in play. Oh, I bet they were striking out all the time. No, they struck out less than 20% of the time in that span.
Yep.
It can happen to any team. It happened to the Blue Jays at a better time than it happened to the Yankees.
Yep.
And then the Yankees can obviously go thermonuclear. They didn't go thermonuclear in the playoffs. The Blue Jays did.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, I think the Yankees, quote unquote, struggling in the playoffs is really due to whatever 5 1/3 innings from Trey Savage, primarily. That's primarily what we're talking about when we talk about that. I guess Garrett Crochet, but that doesn't seem fair. You know, I mean, it's the Yankees were pitched to extremely tough in every playoff game they had. Teams went balls to the wall basically every single game to provide the absolute best matchups in most unexpected situations for the Yankees every single time. And every pitcher they faced was like designed to get them out. I really think the Blue Jays and the Red Sox are two teams that were very well positioned to take on the Yankees, and having a lot of pitchers that were strong against left-handed pitching and having a right-handed heavy lineup to take on Fried and Rodon. It was just it was good for them. It worked out well for them. Doesn't mean it was going to work that way, but it did in this scenario. And it's unfortunate. I really think the Yankees play like anybody else, they probably win. Even if you replay those games, I think there's a good chance they win. So
the Blue Jays had a 264 ISO in this series. ISO is slugging minus batting average, so it's basically extra bases per at bat. 264 is the highest mark by any team over a complete playoff sample since 2019. So this Blue Jays team that ostensibly, like, their whole thing is not power. It's just, oh, they're gritty. They put the ball in play. Hit for more power than any team has in the playoffs in years. And it was not their thing in the regular season. They were 12th in baseball. They were 12 points out of being 18th. They were 42 points out of first place. So the idea that this approach is so good for both contact and power is wrong. It's not correct. I was getting texts from my dad about, oh, isn't it so interesting that everyone else has to strike out to hit homers, but the Blue Jays can not strike out and hit homers.
Jesus, your dad's takes.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous on a number of levels. The first level on which it's ridiculous is we know that there is a power contact trade-off for basically everyone. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa can hit a home run every so often. But the idea that, let me put it this way, any analysis of a baseball season that tells you that a team's postseason performance was underlying the entire time, and if you had just looked closer, you could have predicted it, even when it is completely at odds, or especially if it is completely at odds with what they did in the regular season, is ridiculous. That's bad analysis.
Yep.
There is no world in which 4 games tell you more than 162 games. There is no world in which, what's the maximum number of games you could play in a postseason? 8 plus 14. There's no world in which 22 games tell you more than 162 games. And as you said at the beginning, we all want to draw conclusions from it. It would be great if there was a person to blame, or an idea to blame, or something to fix, or a throat to choke, or whatever it might be. There just isn't. And the reason there isn't is because random stuff happens. And maybe you think the Blue Jays were the clearly better team. Are they so much better that they would win this series 100% of the time? 70% of the time? 55% of the time? Like, this is the thing that we go back to every year. And this will be true even if and when the Yankees win the World Series. The result of a playoff run is not the only possible result for that team.
Yep.
We just looked at
Cody
it.
Bellinger understood it, man.
Yep. Yeah.
I really find that hilarious.
He's not the first guy I would think would get it.
No. And I don't think he was doing some high-minded analytical take. He's just recognizing a simple, basic truth. This team was really good. It didn't work this 5-game series. Like, I love the way that he answered it, where he's like, we weren't missing anything. Like, what do you mean we're missing? This is a really good team. It just didn't work. I mean, the Blue Jays had a 347 BABIP, the highest in a division series since 2021. They had a 364 BABIP on balls out of the zone.
It's ridiculous.
And they posted the highest BABIP on balls out of the zone during the season, but guess what it was? It was 189. That's the highest on
so
balls
they
out
doubled
of the zone.
it.
Yeah. I mean, like, so what are we really supposed to take from that? That they did something markedly well, or that shit just worked out? Exactly. I really don't know. Like, Max Fried got shelled. That happened. It wasn't like they were just blooping balls all over the place. Maybe more in game 4 that happened. But just because a ball's hit hard and hit well, doesn't mean that, well, that was always going to happen. That's the way that's always going to work. It's the number of variables. As I was thinking about this, when we say shit happens and there's variance, and baseball has that, right? That is inherent to baseball. But when you consider the number of just human factors, any little thing that could impact a decision that we could never know. Like, did Aaron Judge have some come to Jesus moment? Did he go talk to a coach that inspired him to go out there and be his best version of himself? And that's why he hit 500 this playoffs? I can't say it's not that. I highly doubt it is, right? But think of every little factor that goes into anything. And then you try to deduce it into this one thing, right? Like, if it later had come out that Aaron Judge had talked to somebody, or like when Jason Hayward gave that rousing speech in the 2016 World Series during the rain delay, and everybody went back out and then they won the game, and that gets targeted as like, oh, that's the big moment. That's what turned it all around. Think of the thousands and thousands of speeches given mid-game that did not result in anything. They just get thrown away. It didn't matter. It only mattered because they won. So all of these little stupid variables, from the personal side to the baseball side, all get thrown in. And we're talking about billions, trillions of different combinations of outcomes of things that could happen and why they happen and everything else. And we have the gall to say it's this one thing or these two things, or it's because they try to hit too many home runs. It's because they don't have enough contact, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I also want to point out like just how some other teams performed in the division series. So the Yankees hit 250, 327, 404. That's a 103 WRC plus. That is third among the 8 teams in the division series.
They got shelled. That's why I don't know why we even talking about
they struck out the third least. The Dodgers, who struck out the third most and hit 199, 280, 277, advanced. The Mariners, who struck out the most, 27.8% of the time, and hit 207, 292, 342, advanced. The Dodgers literally were the worst offensive team to play in any division series, and they won the series. To your point, the only thing we should be worried about, and we've been saying it since May or June, the thing that was going to determine how far the Yankees could go this year, how far the Yankees would go this year, was always pitching.
Yep.
And we didn't know whose shoulders things would fall on or things of that nature, but we knew the run creation was going to be there, and the run creation was there. And you can see it based on how the Yankees fared against the other teams that were in the division series. The run prevention was not there.
No.
And it's not
amazing
like,
we're not talking about that. That's not
it's not like they handed the ball to the wrong guys.
Nope.
They handed the ball to the guys who were there to make those starts, and they didn't have it. And that happens sometimes.
Yeah. I do think the specter of Garrett Cole has been the whole season, not just the playoffs, the whole season. The Yankees probably win the division if Garrett Cole's healthy. I mean,
how shocking that not having Garrett Cole would be impactful.
Right. And then, I mean, to have, I mean, you know, who knows how he would have pitched and all that. You don't know, but I would assume Garrett Cole would have been a valuable, good pitcher. And you know, I don't know. I was thinking about that, but then you also think, well, if Garrett Cole's healthy all year, maybe Cam Schlittler doesn't even make the major leagues, and you couldn't have asked for much more from Cam.
Yep.
I could go off, and we don't have to do it now. We're talking more broad strokes, but everybody wants to talk about Cam Schlittler, obviously, for the 8-inning, 12 strikeout game. I was freaking floored by what he did against the Blue Jays. Not nearly as sexy with the line or anything. But the way he pitched, if you go back to like his first 2 starts and then just watch that next to what he was doing against the Blue Jays the other night, it's like, how could this be like 2 months apart? I mean, the guy is slicing and dicing sinkers and cutters on the corners at like in the upper 90s. He didn't walk anybody all game. So much weak contact. Like the way he was able to change his approach for that team with his experience level, all that. I mean, it was really, that start maybe made me believe in Cam even more than the other one. But
no, unbelievably impressive. I think there's so much to be excited for when it comes to Cam Schlittler.
I really like Cam. You got to stop the shit talk. It's not going to help anything. But
he could learn to stop talking on the internet a little bit.
He doesn't strike me as a guy that would do that. You know, it's so weird that he went out. Like that's a rare thing these days to have somebody go do that. And he just went to town on it.
So sorry, I'm still on the offense thing.
No, you're fine. I've just been thinking about it so much.
People watch Giancarlo Stanton play baseball every year, and they go, that's a guy who's made for the playoffs.
Right.
He strikes out like 40% of the time in the playoffs. He just hits bombs the rest of the time. Like
it's just results. It's just result. There is no, it's a retroactive lie people tell themselves as to why anything happens. All they care about is the result. Nothing else. If the Yankees were to have won this series, imagine even if they did it the way that things were headed, that Aaron Judge hits this home run and they came back and hit a ton of home runs and beat the Blue Jays. Could it be that the Blue Jays, well, you know, they had to string hits together, and if you try to do that too much in the playoffs against elite pitching, that's just not going to work. Those first couple games, it worked, but then after that, they just couldn't do it, and the power wasn't there. You know, like that. Yeah. You could be telling that narrative.
Like if the Blue Jays lose, it'll be because they don't hit enough home runs. I would almost guarantee it.
They didn't have Bo Bichette there or something. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I really hope they lose. I really need the Blue Jays to lose. I need the Mariners to do a job.
I would quite like
Um,
that.
because
Emerson Hancock, what do you have for me, man?
if it's Blue Jays, he's not pitching?
Isn't he?
No, I think it's Bryce Miller. From what I was looking at, maybe I'm wrong.
Oh,
It's tonight though, right?
it is tonight.
Yeah, I think it's Bryce Miller.
I'm just
Which
throwing out
last year or the
names.
year before that would have excited me, but he's been kind of
It is Bryce
water.
Miller.
I used to love Bryce Miller. He's not been good.
Yeah.
That whole game one Mariners are going to be dead.
What is Luke Jackson doing on that team? Oh my goodness. Anyway,
wait, did Brian Wu make the roster? I'm invested in this now.
I think they said he'd be available out of the bullpen.
Okay. They still have Gilbert and Kirby, who are really good. Yep. And Castillo is solid enough.
Fine. Yeah.
And they have Munoz, who's an amazing closer. And their offense isn't half bad. So I mean,
although it was bad.
It was this series, I think.
Yeah, the Tigers Mariners series was kind of a mid-off.
It was rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in theory, they should have Polanco, Raleigh, Julio. Like there should be some guys in there.
Steve, people are going to want us to talk about like what we want the Yankees to do. And this is not our offseason plan episode.
No, I don't know what I want them to do. Be good.
Get good players.
I think ironically, I was thinking about this. I mean, I hope they don't do this, but I think this is a statement to where the team is at right now. The Yankees could very conceivably say, we're going to bring back Cody Bellinger, and that's it. And they would have a very competitive team next year. I don't want them to do that. I hope that's not how it goes. But they would have a basically full and competitive team. Might have to supplement the bullpen or something, but you would have a rotation. You'd have an entire starting nine, and you'd have a bullpen for the most part. So I think they would be, projected to be a very good team in the American League as is. So that's a really good starting point. And you consider the money that they'll have available to them should be pretty notable, with the Bellinger money coming off, at least initially. Then you'll have the Hicks monies coming off. Devin Williams was not cheap. He's coming off. Trent Grisham was arbitration. So that's more money coming off. You're going to have like probably close to 50 million or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's 27 and a half or so next year.
There's a buyout for Cody. So there's some weird stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we only pay half it though. It's like 2.5.
Next year would be 25 for Cody Bellinger. They're not paying that. 12 and a half for Goldschmidt off the books.
Oh yeah. Goldie. Yeah.
5 for Loizaga that probably doesn't get paid.
There's even more. There's like 60 million.
There's 3 for Tim Hill that they probably do pay. And then Weaver, Rosario, Yarbrough, Slater, Blackburn all come off the books. None of those guys are super expensive.
Aaron Hicks is gone. Yep.
Devin Williams is $9 million that's gone, though I hope they bring him back. Trent Grisham is $5 million that's gone. And then $18.5 million for Marcus Stroman.
Oh, that's gone. Oh my God.
Yep.
They have so much money to spend.
I don't know how the Hicks thing. They'll pay $1 million to buy out Aaron Hicks.
But the last
option
year, yes.
11.5.
He and Cody are. It's crazy how Cody can choose to opt out and he gets money for it.
The Bellinger buyout is $5 million.
But I think we're only paying 2.5 of it, thankfully.
Yeah.
So
so it's the full 25 million saved because he was at 27.5 this year. So the Yankees are having a lot of money come off the books.
Without that many holes to fill.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, they're going to have to fill at least one outfield spot.
Yes.
And
it's the Kyle Tucker question.
Really, that's it.
Yeah, and it really is. It's going to be fascinating because they will clearly have the financial capital available to make a big splash, but there aren't that many splashes available. Yeah. The biggest one is Kyle Tucker, and you do need an outfielder. Kyle Tucker is just a very imperfect fit for the Yankees.
Yeah, so
defensively speaking, anyway.
By WAR, the top players. Oh, actually, here's a better way to ask this. There are how many players who are becoming free agents this year? This has not accounted for opt-outs. So like Cody Bellinger is not on this list. Although Pete Alonso is on this list.
Was he not also
out, right?
Was that right? I don't know.
So anyway,
I think that may have been after the regular season. They got to trigger theirs already.
Oh, sure.
Postseason teams. Yeah.
How many players who are becoming free agents do you think had more WAR than Trent Grisham? Hitters and pitchers.
I don't even. It's hard for me to even guess because I don't know what is out there. I haven't 10.
Yeah, it's 8.
8. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The guys ahead of Grisham are Dylan Cease, Pete Alonso, Eugenio
Like
Suarez, Bo Bichette, Framber, Ranger Suarez, Tucker, and Schwarber.
Yeah.
Like Cody Bellinger, when he is added to that list, what did he finish at?
4.9.
4.9. Okay, so he will be tied for first place in 2025 WAR among
Tucker also
impending
had
free agents.
4.9, right?
Tucker
Or is he 4.8 or something?
4.5 on Fangraphs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really interesting question, because if you're the Yankees and you are trying to save money at all, if that is a thing, you could easily look at Bellinger and say he fits the team better defensively. He's going to be cheaper, and he was more valuable last year than Kyle Tucker.
Was.
Like, but
he was more valuable than like not quite a full season of Kyle Tucker, I will say.
Bellinger didn't play a total full season either. He did have some stretches where he was
it was 152 to 136.
Okay, that's notable still.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Kyle Tucker is the better player, but it would be very easy for me to see people punching numbers in there and being like, why would we spend $200 million more for a guy who won't solve our outfield spot and isn't meaningfully better? But I do think Kyle Tucker is meaningfully better, but it's easy to say he's not based on last year.
Yeah. What's funny is, do you know how many seasons with more than 4.9 Fangraphs WAR Kyle Tucker has?
0.
Although he did put up 3 seasons of exactly 4.9 Fangraphs WAR.
He was on pace for like 8 WAR in 24, right?
Yeah.
Before he got hurt.
He had 4.2 in 78 games.
Yeah. And honestly, this year he was on pace for a lot more, and then he got hurt again, and he stayed. He honestly hurt him. He kept playing. I think he actually might have been positioned himself better for a contract if he had just not played for a little bit. But I do want Kyle Tucker. He hasn't played left field at all. He plays right field. He's slow. He's not really a good defender anymore.
Yep.
I don't know what you do with that. I don't know. I mean, Stanton won't be around forever. I mean, can you get over 2 years of having Kyle Tucker in left field before one of Tucker or Judge move to DH or something? Like, I could see it, but then what do you do with Jason? Is Jason now your center fielder? Do you just move on from him as part of your plan? Like,
I have a suspicion that prior to the debut of Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez is going to play a lot of center field.
I mean, a defensive outfield of Kyle Tucker in left, Jason Dominguez in center, and Judge in right is a shit show.
It would be like it wouldn't quite be on the level of if they had ever put Soto, Judge, and Stanton out there, but it would be like not that different from that.
No. And Kyle Tucker was once upon a time a good defender. So it's not like he is some unathletic. I think he's just slow now. I think really I view Kyle Tucker not too differently than I view Trent Grisham right now, where I think you're athletically capable. You're just slow. You're just not, you can't do it anymore. You can't do it like you once did it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's fine for a little bit in left field. It would be more fine if you had an elite center fielder. If you want to say somehow convince Byron Buxton to waive his no trade clause, and you have Buxton in center field with Tucker in left and Judge in right, all of a sudden I'm kind of thinking, well, that's
exactly. Fine. Yeah, he can make up for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Let me make a couple pleas, because people have been bringing up names that I don't want to see play for the Yankees anymore.
Harrison Bader.
You may not play for my baseball team.
Wasn't he kind of not bad this year?
I don't care.
No, I'm with you, but I think he actually was sort of like,
I think once he went to Philly, he was pretty good. Yeah, he had a 122 WRC plus, which is disgusting. I don't know how he did that. But I don't want anything to do with him.
Well, I want to see what his batted.
He's the same.
He's the same thing. He's the same.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah. No, I'm good.
So Harrison Bader, I want nothing to do with you. Justin Wilson. Someone was mentioning Justin Wilson. I don't want Justin Wilson anywhere near
like my shortstop team. Justin Wilson. Oh no, you mean
that's Jacob Wilson.
Jacob
I mean
Wilson.
the relief pitcher.
Left-handed former Yankee Justin Wilson. Yes,
former multiple-time Yankee, I believe.
He was pretty good this year though.
Yeah, don't want anything to do with him.
I actually wouldn't mind Justin Wilson at all.
Nope, won't do it. After the game in Detroit in 2021 where he gave up the walk-off home run to Robbie Grossman, no thank you. Willie Willie Castro, you have no spot on my baseball team.
Probably not.
Like I just want to make sure that people understand that there are some guys whose presence on my baseball team I just won't be entertaining.
I did not
Patrick
realize
Corbin,
how bad Willie Castro was after he got traded
yep,
to the Cubs.
really bad.
Oh man, people wanted him.
Yep.
Jeez. Anyway, Patrick Corbin, hell no.
Patrick Corbin, hell no. Luis Ariz, impending free agent.
God, no. Where would he even play? There's nowhere for that guy to play.
Well,
yeah, this will actually be fascinating because now everyone's got to reckon with the fact that the baseball industry isn't going to give Luis Ariz more than like $5 million next year. He might get more than that, but
it's just going to make them angrier. Like it's just going to be like, this is what's wrong with the game that nobody values this.
Didn't he only hit like 280 this year or whatever it was? Like he didn't even do his thing where he hit for a high average.
Yeah,
like,
he hit 292 with a 327 on base. In the playoffs, he hit 182, 182, 182.
He was literally like a league average hitter this year.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Yeah.
And I just don't, at this point, I just don't get it. He led the league in hits with 181 hits by the times have changed.
He, in his last 304 games, has a 107 WRC plus and 2 WAR.
He's just a dumb player. 22-23 Ariz was actually pretty solid.
Well, when you get on base at like a 380 clip, that's a different thing. Yeah.
100%. But then you stop doing that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, his whole on base just relies on balls dropping. So it's
So suddenly he had a 289 BABIP season, and now he's not good. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I know.
Can't stand that guy. If Luis Ariz is a Yankee, I'm becoming an Orioles fan.
There's no way. Where would he play? I mean, they have Ben Rice at
first base.
Who's entrenched there? Ben Rice is your first baseman next year.
I think Ben Rice is sometimes your catcher?
I kind of hope they just get rid of that whole thing.
Yeah, I know. I think he's going to be the full-time first baseman. Yeah. I think that's the correct way to handle it. Really, yeah. There, depending on how you view Jason Dominguez, there are no more than 2 spots to fill among the position playing roster spots.
I think you do need a right-handed hitter in there somewhere, man. I know, like, handedness doesn't matter, but I want somebody that mashes lefties somewhere on that team.
I mean, like, the first guy that would come to mind would be Ozuna, but he's not a playable outfielder.
There really isn't anything. That's why I would love Byron Buxton. I would love Byron Buxton so much, but it's not going to happen.
I'm going to say one of the more ridiculous things that has ever been said on this podcast. But I'm going to say it anyway. You remember Yogi Berra?
It's a weird question, but yes. Yeah. I remember the guy.
Do you remember what they did with Yogi Berra when he couldn't catch anymore?
He played all over the place, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he play first and third and outfield? And he was like all over the place.
Do you think that, oh gosh, I just looked at this guy's splits and now I'm totally off of this. I was going to say, do you think JT Realmuto could play left field?
Oh. Probably not, though he is fast. I mean, he's always been really athletic.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking, but he was terrible against lefties this year, which I did not realize.
I haven't been thinking about Realmuto very much.
Another guy who
that's an interesting. I didn't realize he was a free agent.
Yeah. Another free agent who has historically hit lefties very well is one Gleyber Torres.
I wish that was a real thing that could happen.
Yeah.
But where would he even play at this point? I don't know where he'd play.
Left field.
Gleyber Torres?
Why not?
The dude wouldn't move to third base, like, let alone move to the outfield.
Give him the multi-year deal he wants, then he won't have to worry about it.
Look, I can't sit here in any good conscience and say I'm worried about Kyle Tucker's defense in left field and then advocate for Gleyber Torres to play left field. I can't do that.
Well, you can, because only one of those guys is Gleyber Torres.
I would love Gleyber back, but yeah, I mean, maybe you could. But Jazz has played the outfield before. You could throw Jazz in center, move him around again, but he's going to be in his free agent walk here and probably be a pissy little shit about it. So
you could put Glaber. I do think you could put Glaber at third base. Well, no, you can't because you have Ryan McMahon.
Well, he would have to agree to it too. I know you got.
Yeah.
I like Ryan McMahon.
I actually think Ryan McMahon is going to be totally fine.
Actually, whose pick to click actually clicked? Yeah,
you nailed
McMahon was the one that did it. Yeah,
you nailed it.
The last home run we got to see was a big game tying home run from lefty, no less too.
Yeah,
crazy.
No, I like
McMahon.
This could be totally misguided, but I am like very not worried about Ryan McMahon. I think he's going to be a perfectly fine baseball player.
I think he's such a good defender and hits the ball so damn hard that confluence of things will result in some kind of value. It does sound eerily similar to how people talked about Joey Gallo for a while, but I do think Ryan McMahon's defense is better and in a more established position. Joey Gallo was kind of like theoretically good at multiple places and kind of nowhere.
You know,
he doesn't strike out quite like Gallo does either. It's a different thing.
You know who mashes lefties and is available and kind of fills a spot that the Yankees might need?
Who's that?
The Kraken, Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, that could be interesting, actually.
Righty catcher.
Yeah, as a bench guy.
Could play a little first base.
Does he?
Has been asked. He's been asked to do that. Yep. He played a little first base in Milwaukee.
That's interesting. I don't think it happens. I think the Yankees are really against reunions against players that the fan base hated on their way out. But that's why I think Devin just won't be back. Devin makes so much sense to bring back. It's ridiculous, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah, no, Devin is like the most obvious guy to bring back. He's obviously going to be better next year than he was this year.
On a discount too.
You get him for a discount. I think especially if they go, I don't think they'll do this, but who do you think will be the better pitcher over the life of their next contract? Edwin Diaz or Devin Williams?
Oh, yeah. Devin Williams, for sure.
And Edwin Diaz is going to make so much more money.
I do think it'll be less than maybe we think. I think teams are smart enough now that it's not going to, his ERA won't really impact things. Like, because everything else is, by the end of the year, his K rate, his walk rate was actually like the best he's had in a while.
Yep.
It was really just his hits per 9. That's like really the thing that got him. I think a few more home runs maybe, but it was really just hits. It was BABIP. Yeah. And so I think teams are going to pay him pretty handsomely to be a closer next year. I do think it'll be less than it would have been if he had posted another like 1.5 ERA season with the Yankees and dominated the whole way through. But I don't think it'll be as much less as it would have been once upon a time for sure. Yeah. He's still going to make good money. But yeah, I do think Edwin Diaz can make more, though. Edwin Diaz is older, right?
He is.
Yeah. So
but
I don't know.
By less than you would think. Like next year will be Edwin Diaz's age 32 season, and it will just barely be Devin's age 31 season.
Oh, that's not
so.
Really
yeah.
I don't know. There really aren't much there's much in the way of relief help on the bullpen area after this. I haven't seen much from my quick glance I did at the free agent list of who else would be like, oh, that's a target. Though it's never really how that works.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you trade and get some.
Yeah.
I mean, and Cashman did a really good job bringing in people.
Yep.
That'll be long term.
Jake Bird is probably a guy next year.
In there. Yeah, and obviously you still have Bednar holding over. You have Camille Duvall for multiple years.
Yep.
You still have Mark Leiter. You still have Fernando Cruz. Yeah. Like you got these guys for extended periods. So
yeah, Emilio Pagan was good this year. He's becoming a free agent.
That's not bad. I like Pagan actually.
For the people who are just obsessed with like velocity, Sir Anthony Dominguez is going to be a free agent.
If Luke Weaver wants to sign back for like $1 million, I'd do it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what's going to happen with that. That was kind of tragic, honestly. For as much as I've crapped on Luke Weaver all year, I didn't see that weird thing coming. Like, what was that? I don't even know what happened.
It was so bad, man.
It was.
You know what Red Sox left-handed reliever I'd be fine with is Steven Matz.
Steven Matz, yeah. Matz is fine.
It was so weird. Like, he just pumps 97 and is like a one-inning reliever now. Like, where did that come from?
I still see him as like just coming up with the Mets.
Yeah, with Syndergaard and DeGrom and Harvey. Yeah.
I thought he was going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not bad. I think they could really use a real left-handed reliever next year. That would be a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
And if it's Steven Matz, it's Steven Matz. But I'm a little tired of
Sean Newcomb was like fine this year, but he doesn't strike guys out the way
he was actually pretty good in a weird way.
People to.
Yeah. I haven't looked at him recently, but I know when he got traded or whatever, there was some clamoring for him.
Yeah, no, he did some good stuff.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to even like think about it. I really think 95% of the offseason will hinge on whether or not the Yankees want Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger, because I think one of those two players is inevitably on the Yankees in 2026.
Yeah,
I see a hard way that the Yankees have a team without one of those two guys next year.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think it's always uncertain, like how many years can the Yankees just routinely go out and give out these like mega deals? They can't do it every year. You can't go to every offseason and keep doing it.
Yeah, because eventually you're the Padres and Darvish is under contract until he's 50.
Yes. No, granted, I was thinking about that, and like they haven't done it every year. They went Max Fried last year, but then the year before that they didn't. They brought Soto in, but that was a 1 year thing. The year before that they got Judge and Rodon heading into that year, but then the year before that they didn't. I don't think they brought anything big. So it's kind of like every other year.
What was the mega deal before Judge and Rodon?
I don't even know when the last one. Cole, 19 after.
So
19.
that was 3 years.
Yeah. And they've done a lot of them. Like, because remember after they signed Judge, it was like then they got Rodon, and it was like, whoa, we don't do this kind of thing like that anymore. Just to go 2 big contracts, and then Fried, which seemed like they kind of had to do it because Soto was gone. They had to spend all this money somewhere. So I don't know if they're going to be feeling like $400 million for Kyle Tucker is what they want to do, especially if Cody Bellinger's there for like half the years and half the money.
Who do you think is going to play shortstop?
Before the playoffs, I would have pretty confidently said Anthony Volpe, so I don't really think it's fair to take that playoff sample and say not Anthony Volpe. But I'm with everyone, and yeah, it's a small sample and everything else, but holy shit! Like, I'm sorry, it was bad. It was bad. Really bad. I kind of joined the squad a little bit with like, why aren't we pinch hitting for him in the elimination game here? And like you could have done that. Like there were options. Dominguez was sitting there. And you had Caballero there to take over at short. Like, I don't know why they didn't do it.
Who do you think is going to be the manager next year?
Aaron Boone.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope it is.
I've heard a lot of clamoring, not surprisingly, for Aaron Boone not to be the manager next year. And what I will say is, from what I have heard, if you're spending time thinking about who's going to be the manager next year, and that time is leading you to anyone other than Aaron Boone, there's a low chance that you'll be correct.
But I guess not zero chance, huh?
Not a zero chance, I suppose, but I've never known anyone from whom I hear these things to deal in absolute.
Is this our fellow?
This is our fellow.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I trust that then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, because look, the Yankees had a successful season. I'm going to get knives thrown at me for saying that, but they absolutely did. You lost Garrett Cole, you lost Juan Soto, you won the same number of games as you did the previous season.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Masterclass. And with only one big contract on the books for that like you turn to, and that's Max Fried, who was great for you and sets up a really great rotation for you next year. So it's not even like you locked yourself into something short-term that's going to kill you forever. Like it was a very well-constructed team. Honestly, they did a really good job with everything that happened to them. And they project to be a really good team next year too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I also want to point out the Yankees won 11 of their last 12 regular season games. They then won 3 of their 7 postseason games. So the Yankees won 14 out of 19. If you win 14 out of 19 in the postseason, which is more than you can actually win, you win the World Series.
They were playing some bottom of the barrel teams.
They were playing some bottom of the barrel teams, but still, like,
I get the point though. Yes.
They won so many games at such a high rate. And then all it takes is the wrong, what was it? 2-3 stretch.
Yeah.
Or no, it was a 3-3 stretch. All it took was the wrong 3-3 stretch.
Well, because they won the last 2 versus the Red Sox, and then it's there's so many ways that this doesn't result like this, And I think actually very few ways that it does result in this way. It's really frustrating. I mean, if Max Fried just doesn't, not even suck in that one game, if he just didn't suck for like a month, you know, like if he just had one or two more good starts in there, that doesn't happen. I mean, there are so many things over the course of a season that the Yankees did better than the Blue Jays. They were a better team than the Blue Jays the entire season. What are you supposed to do? Like, baseball's like this.
Yep.
This is what baseball is all about. And even the smart people, the intelligent people, start to get itchy trigger fingers around firing off hot takes because it's been so long since a World Series and every year it doesn't happen. They start to wonder, like, well, maybe there is something. Maybe there is a science to it that we're missing. Maybe there is a big explanation.
Fail at this.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, one thing that I've seen, there was a very long, very bad article that someone posted that I was tagged in, or that we were tagged in, more accurately. And it made the case that like 2017 was this massive success and every year since then has been a massive failure, which is ridiculous in very many ways. But if you think the Yankees systematically fail at winning in the postseason now, how do you explain 2010 to 2017? Especially since people say, oh, well, it's the manager now. Well, the Yankees had very different players in 2010 than in 2017, and Joe Girardi didn't win with either team. The Yankees have very different players now than they did in 2018, and Aaron Boone hasn't won the World Series with either team. Why is one guy protected and praised, and why is it said that that guy shouldn't have been fired when this one deserves to be? That doesn't make any sense. Also,
Joe Girardi managed 4 years of one playoff game.
Yes.
4 seasons in a row. One playoff game between them from 13, 14, 15, 16. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Find me the last Yankees manager who did that.
Yeah.
It's pre-Buck Showalter. I can tell you that much.
I don't get why he gets a pass. They spent money too. It's not like this whole like, oh, they weren't even trying to win. They were rebuilding. Like 16 maybe by that point kind of was turning a new leaf, but they signed Brian McCann and Jacoby Ellsbury. They were going all out on the Carlos Beltran.
Yep.
Yeah. It's nonsense.
Tanaka. Oh, miss you. The other point I was going to make there is people have decided that it's some affront to the legacy of George Steinbrenner that the Yankees hired Aaron Boone and not Rob Thompson. I would just like people to review how Rob Thompson's team just lost the division series. Because if you want to call Aaron, also the Phillies were, for all the like optics stuff that people care about with Aaron Boone, the Phillies were a complete dumpster fire this year. Nick Castellanos was feuding with the manager publicly because he's not good at baseball, but believes he should play a lot more. And they lost their series because a guy threw to the wrong base. Like,
it's one of the, I watched that happen live and it was like,
it was tragic.
I have no horse in the race, but I was like devastated for that guy. It was like,
no, you can't help but feel awful for him. But like, can you imagine if a player on an Aaron Boone managed team had done that, what people would be saying? Where are the takes that the Phillies are talented but not good at baseball?
I think somebody would have died that night. Somebody would have been assassinated if that had happened. Yeah. I mean, it's because it's really the same conversation we have, and we just put it in different forms all the time. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the real thing. The process of how we got here doesn't matter. They didn't win. That's it. So retroactively, problems.
And what I'll get out ahead of is I know that the response that I'm going to get from my dad and others to that point that was just made is going to be, well, they're the Yankees. If they wanted to be the Phillies, blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous. Find me someone, the built-in advantage that the Yankees have. People always talk about it. They spend a lot of money. Sure. So do other teams.
Yep.
What else is there? They play in the toughest division.
Yep.
They play with other teams that spend a lot of money. Who's the highest paid first baseman in baseball? What division does he play in?
First baseman. It's Freddie Freeman, I guess. I don't know. Who is the highest paid first baseman? Oh, Vlad. Right. Yes. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know what to even say about it anymore. They just got to win or else it'll keep being said.
And winning is hard.
Yeah.
Winning is hard. Also, the other thing I want to say, and I'm sorry that I keep doing this, the
No, you're
Yankees
fine.
historically have won World Series in bunches. 2009 is a little bit of an outlier. Like, people look at these stretches of time and they go, well, they won X number of World Series in this time. It's like, okay, why don't you switch it so that you take out the 5 years where they won 5 in a row and that becomes its own segment of time? Then how does it look?
Right.
The Yankees won 2 World Series in the 70s, but they hadn't won one since the early 60s and didn't win another until the mid 90s. So, like, I don't know. It's very weird the way that people talk about this team and the way that people convince themselves that winning 25 World Series in a century means every 4 years, like clockwork, they won the World Series. It's just not how it was. And people think it ought to work that way, as any systematic advantages the Yankees had are being stripped away. Like, the Yankees got to use half of the American League as their farm team for the first half of Major League history.
That's true.
Like, yeah, if the Yankees could just decide that Bobby Witt is on the team now, like, that'd be cool. That's how it used to work.
Yeah. Now, there seems to just exist this notion that there is some science to playoff baseball. I mean, that's it. Because look, the Yankees have, you're going to say, well, they have a big payroll. They should all, like, well, yeah, they have not had a losing season since freaking before I was born, whatever. They make the playoffs like almost every damn season.
Well, they're a great team. People see so many things that people draw the wrong conclusion from the set of facts. The Yankees never have losing seasons. They make the playoffs every year. They are competitive for big free agents. They land a decent chunk of them. They put a really good team on the field. They win a lot in the regular season. People see that and they go, wow, there must be something wrong. Otherwise, they would be winning the World Series. That is the wrong conclusion to be drawing. The conclusion you should draw is, wow, that is exactly the way you should run a baseball team.
I think so. I think that an argument I hear a lot, and I think it's fundamentally flawed in terms of the importance they put on it. But one of the criticisms I'll hear is that instead of going all in, the Yankees are in this sustained model of good instead of ever going all in for great in any one year. But really, that what you're saying then implicitly is that there is in fact a magic to playoff baseball success, that there is some playbook for it, because that's it. They get to the playoffs every year. So it's not like they're just missing or something on these years. And only if they had gone all in, they would have had more playoff opportunities. No, that's the same. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, like, yeah, if you're a better team, I think you have better odds in the postseason, but how much better? Like tiny percents, right? Yeah. Not enough that I think it's going to make that big of a difference. And that's the situation the Yankees often find themselves in every offseason. And we talked about it a lot this last offseason about like Alex Bregman or something. Like, does a 2% increase in our odds of winning a World Series worth $50 million this year or something, right? And that's, like, from my point of view, it's not my money. So hell yeah, do it. I don't care. Please go for it. 2% increase is 2%. I'm happy with that. But I can't sit here and say that, like, oh, it's crazy business strategy. You wouldn't do that. Like, no, I get it. You're going to be in the playoffs anyway. It's probably not going to change anything.
Yeah. No, it's 1 out of every 50 simulations, they get an extra World Series. That's great. Right.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I think they're going to have that conversation with Cal Tucker. I think that'll be a thing. Cal Tucker versus Cody Bellinger. I think an argument that they could make to themselves is Cal Tucker will maybe still be a premium offensive player and Aaron Judge declines, much in the same way they were hoping Juan Soto would have been. And that might be something that they're going to, shell out for. But I'm meandering off my thoughts now. But I'm just frustrated. I want to watch more baseball right now. I want to have a new team constructed, and let's just do it again this moment.
Yeah. Well, at least next time they'll have Garrett Cole.
Hopefully.
For some portion of the season instead of none portion of the season.
It really was if I had to say one word as to why the season didn't go as well, or one name, it's just Garrett Cole. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Well, Steve, it's time for us to wrap up this episode, this post-mortem for the 2025 season. And on a rather somber note, well, no, this isn't the last episode of season 5, because we'll still have to do our awards and our review of our predictions. but not right now. So probably the penultimate episode of season 5. And a lot of people think penultimate means last, but it doesn't. It means second to last because ultimate means last. Yep. And you wouldn't have anyway. Do you even want it? I don't think there's any reason to do confidence. It doesn't apply.
I didn't think we were going to do that.
It doesn't apply.
0 now because they're out. Like,
exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, they're done. So
all right.
It's unfortunate.
Well, do you have any parting shots you want to offer?
No, I mean, we're going to do another episode, but this was, despite this kind of bummer of an episode of us just lamenting a lot of things that we've covered before and all that, but I had a lot of fun this season. I loved this team. Yeah. I loved it a lot. I said that on the last episode we did before we went into the ALDS, and I'm still saying it now. Really, really enjoyed this team a lot, and I don't think they'll be remembered very fondly by most of the fan base, and I think that's a damn shame.
I agree.
And even if for only one reason, we have Ben Rice this year. Like, don't mistake the importance of Ben Rice emerging as one of the elite hitters in baseball. Like, the Yankees now have a top hitter in baseball.
Trent Grisham hitting 34 home runs was cool too.
That's cool, but he'll be gone, and I don't know if I believe he'll ever repeat that. But
no, I don't either.
But Ben Rice might legit Ben Rice could have a 170 WRC plus next year, and I would not be like, how did that happen? Like, no, it's something he could
That's do. In the model.
Yeah.
All right. Well, people can keep up with everything we do at yankeesfiles.com. They can follow us on Twitter, where we are at Yankees Files. The podcast is available wherever you get your podcast. We hope that you'll rate it positively, interact with it in nice ways, and do all that, even though they'll be far less frequent as we get into the off season. I will say I'm starting to plan out some off season content, some of which you'll be involved in, Steve, other parts of which you won't. Like, there's going to be an airports episode, and I just don't feel like you'd have very much to say.
When they were first designing airplanes, I saw them.
Anyway, the full video podcast goes up on Spotify as well.
I can even legally fly right now. I don't have a real ID, so I can't even.
Oh
fly
my
right
gosh! Do you have a passport?
No, I don't. Not right now. I had one. I had one. It expired, but
you can't get on a plane.
I cannot fly. No, it's kind of crazy to think about.
I'm gonna just start talking about how you can't legally fly and get people to think that you're on some kind of like federal no-fly list.
Yeah. Well, see, he's not even allowed on a plane.
That's why you're disqualified for being on the episode. Anyway, the full video podcast also goes up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@crosstownsports. We will see you sometime, someplace in the future to recap the season that was. And until then, let's go Yankees in whatever endeavors they pursue.
Let's go the 2026 Yankees and the offseason Yankees. Go Brian Cashman.
Yeah.
Woo.
And I say, hey, yeah.